So guys, sorry there was no videos today. I wasn't feeling well. I had a bit of a headache and that. I laid down and woke up 8 hours later. So I must have needed the sleep. Let's jump into it. Tinder Trap model claims that she's the victim after dumping guys. Yeah, there's nothing like playing the victim, is there? Look, I'm a little bit... I don't know how I feel about this Tinder Trap. I really don't. But let's jump into it. The model who duped hundreds of guys into showing up for a phony Tinder date in Union Square refused to apologise Thursday and paints herself as the victim. I'm taking all the hits right now. Instagram model and actress Natasha, whatever, Apato, whatever, whined on ABC's Good Morning America. We have that clip for you. We will play that for you right now.
Any regrets? Any apologies for the men who have some bruised egos?
I'm taking all of the hits right now, but I don't mind that because I know who I am and I'm happy and I'm secure in myself.
Natasha says she's received a slew of nasty comments online, with men insulting her in the wake of the stunt.
It's funny because all of the negative that I'm getting from these guys are still in my inboxes trying to date me.
So, yeah, interesting. Anyway, let's move along. It's funny because all the negative that I'm getting from these guys, they're still in my inbox trying to date me. Bitch, I'm not in your inbox and I'm not trying to date you. And I wouldn't date you. But, moving along. Apollo made headlines this week after inviting dozens of dudes to the park on Sunday, only to blindside them from revealing that they were there for the same date and would have to compete, turning most of them away for arbitrary reasons like having a beard, being named Jimmy, and putting the rest through physical challenges. Oh, it's funny how you didn't mention the rest of it. That's actually not the worst part about it. She also went through about people under a certain height, guys under a certain dick size. There is a lot of discrimination, and the reason why the internet has a problem with this is because of the fact that if a guy was to do this, holy shit, the backlash would be real. You imagine a guy duping thousands of women to turn up to Union Square and then turn around and say, everybody under a bra size B, see you later, not interested. Any girl that's under 5'3" or under 5'6", for example, see ya, not interested. Any girl that's not attractive, bye. Any girl that's blonde because you the dumb stereo blonde type, bye. The holy shit, the feminists would be losing their shit. But it's funny, the feminists aren't anywhere to be seen on this one. It's like they only care when it's against them. But let's keep going. The blonde finally explained what it was all about Thursday as she and the viral video maker Rob Bliss released their footage of the ruse and saying it was a social experiment. Yeah, like Jake Paul's was a social experiment too. And headlined the problem with online dating. It's kind of becoming socially acceptable to disqualify people and say like, you have to be X height and you have to have X job, Bliss, who created the famous footage of the women being catcalled while walking through New York, told GMA. Sorry. Do I think he is backpedaling because of the backlash on this? Oh yeah. Even when they were doing the social experiment, quotes, there were a lot of people that were calling them out for it. And I think then they realised that, oh wait, this is going to go badly. Look, is he trying to make a point? Yeah. I don't think it's the point he's trying to make, though. What he's claiming here, anyway. This is the guy that went on about a girl being catfished. He's obviously pretty up on the whole feminism, you know, I'm a patriarchy, you know, stuff like that. So at the end of the day, yeah, I think he did this because his original idea was to get back at guys who did this. Notice he doesn't mention which gender he's talking about when he talks about the Tinder Trap. He says, quote, and let's take his word for it because it's all we got, but he says, for example, you have to have X height and you have to have X job. Okay. Who's saying that? Who's saying you have to have this certain job, you have to have this certain height? Because at the end of the day, it's not just the girls that say that. It's guys as well. So, yeah, I think he is, yeah, feminist, you know. Ah, the patriarchy. And I think he tried to make this to, expose men for online dating who are, quote, shallow. But all it did was reinforce the women are shallow as well. But, anyway. We should be mad about this. The resulting video, titled The Tinder Trap, shows how they set up the scam. They paid overseas workers to flirt on Nash's behalf with 7,500 men and spent 2 years planning. Then, how the event played out. Most of the men looked confused or bemused, and at least a handful participated in the bizarre competition. And to the guys that turned up to this and participated, how blue were your balls? Seriously, how desperate were you to sit there and to put yourself through this? Like, do you have no self-respect? Like, let alone the fact that you've been talking to this girl for almost 2 years and you haven't gotten on a date. That should have been the first thing that it was possibly a scam. I would have pulled the ejection cord on that probably within the first week, but anyway. But yeah, the first few days actually, but anyway. But I was going to say, but yeah, like, you spent, what, how long speaking to this girl? You finally get a date, you turn up. How blue were they? Because I tell you what, geez, they must have been all shirts of purple, those ones. But anyway. At one point, as an opponent, I don't know her name, interviews potential suitors, and one unwilling participant grabs her mic. It's not just one, but anyway. Excuse me, this shit you did right here, pulled the stunt on these men who had stuff to do. That's fucked up, it's fucked up. He yells and cheers from the crowd. There were a lot of people that were calling it out on the day. There really was a lot. But anyway. In a voiceover, Apu concludes that his anger and being set up for a viral video stunt proves that Tinder is bad. No, it doesn't. What it proves is that you are backpedaling because people are getting pissed off with you for pulling this stunt. But anyway. Just because someone doesn't check off every box on what we find attractive doesn't mean they aren't. It's absurd, isn't it, to judge people with such petty things as they like to wear cankers, she says on a footage over mic grabs and other men complaining to the police officer. So, yeah, there were guys complaining to the police officer about getting arrested, which I think is a little bit dramatic and snowflakey. Other guys were calling her out for it, and other people were calling out from the crowd. This did not go well for her. It really did not. A lot of people were really pissed. Which is why I think they've released the video and they're trying to do some damage control. We know that. Look at how angry this makes people. No, people aren't angry about Tinder. People aren't angry about the Tinder date. People are angry because you're wasting their time. In some life when time is valuable. You have literally had thousands of men who you have spoken to for God knows how long. You have dragged them along. You've drawn them out. Well, it wasn't even you. It was some overseas worker. You've dragged it out for as long as you possibly could to get the numbers. And then when you've got all these guys and they've been dragged along for years, they've been led along, you get them to turn up to what they think is a date, and it ends up being some competition to find out who can date you. Yeah, I wonder why they might be slightly pissed. Oh boy, I wonder. But anyway. Opponent told Good Morning America she did actually go out with one of the men, but there was no love connection. Oh my shock, my horror. Bliss maintained that there wasn't trying to sell anything or promote a product just to make a point. Yes, and I wonder what point you were trying to make because you haven't made it very perfectly clear, have you? Look, at the end of the day, what's my view on all this? Do I think Tinder is bad? Yes. Am I on Tinder? Sure. But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, I don't like this dating hookup culture. I really don't. I'm more old school when it comes to this sort of stuff. But that said, this is the industry. This is the way life is at the moment. Yeah. Unless I'm going to go and join the Amish community, and then I won't have the internet. So, trade off. But like I say, look, at the end of the day, I don't like Tinder. I don't like this swipe right. It's very shallow and everything like that. I get that point. But at the end of the day, I think this is more about them trying to stick it to the guys. I don't think this has anything to do with women or anything like that. The reason why they chose men to turn up to this and to fight for her one affection is because of the fact that they're showing how bad guys are on Tinder. This is a way of having a shot at men. And at the end of the day, I can understand why some guys would be pissed off. You have literally had men sit around and be drawn on for 2 years, drawn out, chatted to, flirted with, and then when they finally go through and get a date, quote so to speak, they then romp up and find out it's some competition to date some girl. I would have been pissed off as well. Well, not that I would have waited 2 years to try and get a date, but you know what I mean. And all the guys that turned up, do get some self-respect. The fact that you waited 2 years to meet this girl, it's kind of, bad as it is. But then romping up and finding out it's a competition and you didn't make like a fucking tree and leave, I would have just been, nah, fuck this shit, and walked off. I wouldn't even waited. I just would have gone. And to all the guys that stayed, what kind of self-respect do you have? You really have no self-respect. Never put women on a pedestal. They aren't worth it. Okay? It's just a woman. It's the same as it's just a guy. Equality. We're all men, women. There's plenty of fish out in the sea, so to speak. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Would you have stayed for this dating app? Would you have thought, I'll give it a go, see how it goes? Or would you like, nah, fuck this, I'm out? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.